Good morning. It is with honor and heartfelt gratitude that I stand before you this morning to present the award for life-saving and the Medal for Life-Saving. The life-saving medal may be awarded to sworn staff members who have performed an act which has resulted in the saving of a life through an immediate and intelligent action or the prompt and professional application of first aid. The first recipients of the life-saving medal and award are Sergeant Christopher Roberts, Nurse Practitioner Watson Jean Baptiste, Nurse Practitioner Joanna Powell, Registered Nurse Helen Dumas, and Registered Nurse Natasha Gordon. On July 29, 2012, correctional and medical staff responded to a medical code in the jail's infirmary. Sergeant Christopher Roberts, a trained paramedic and a 17-year veteran of the department, arrived on the scene and assessed the situation, which involved a female inmate in medical distress. In coordination with Sergeant Roberts and correctional staff, nurse practitioners Jean Baptiste and Joanna Powell, along with registered nurses Helen Dumas and Natasha Gordon, administered life-sustaining measures, including the use of a defibrillator, until paramedics arrived and assumed control of the situation. In working together as a team, the department and Correct Care Solutions staff were instrumental in achieving this positive outcome. Based upon the same, the department is pleased to present the Life-Saving Medal to Sergeant Roberts and the Life-Saving Awards to nurse practitioners Jean Baptiste and Powell and registered nurses Dumas and Gordon. All of you please report to the stage for your awards. The next two recipients of the Life-Saving Medal are Sergeants Adrian Coley and Patrick Woods, 24 veterans of the Department of Correction. On August 16, 2013, Sergeants Adrian Coley and Patrick Woods were assigned to the department's female unit and were informed by staff of a possible inmate suicide attempt. Upon arriving at the scene, they discovered that the inmate in question, a high-profile female defendant, had utilized clothing to tie the door of a shower closed and was on the floor inside of the shower. After cutting their way into the shower with a utility knife, the sergeants secured the scene and began emergency first aid until medical staff arrived on the scene. As part of the selection process, the board considered my nomination of you for this medal. In this incident, your professionalism, vigilant commitment to your duties, and immediate action directly prevented permanent incapacitation or death of the inmate in question. Sergeants Coley and Woods, it is my honor. Please report to the stage for your award. The final recipients of the life-saving medal are Sergeant Christopher Roberts, again, and Correctional Officer David Cox. Just last December 20th, 2013, an inmate assigned to the department's central supply area was performing trustee duties, and he fell suddenly and violently ill. In responding to the area, Sergeant Christopher Roberts and Correctional Officer David Cox, also a trained paramedic, began immediate life-saving measures upon the inmate, who was later determined to be having a heart attack. Through their swift response, the inmate was stabilized, transported to the medical center, and returned to custody a few weeks later. In this incident, their fast decision-making and selfless actions of going beyond the call of duty assisted in preventing a more serious outcome. Accordingly, CO Cox and Sergeant Rogers are hereby presented the life-saving medal for their efforts. Sergeant Roberts and Officer Cox, please report to the stage to receive your award. Thank you.
Again.
Thank you, Deputy Commissioner Smithson. Next, we will present the award and medal for meritorious service to be presented by Sergeant David Angeletto.
Good morning. The Meritorious Service Medal may be awarded to a uniformed member of the department who performs an act of intervention or in an unusual incident with some degree of hazard, or where death or injury to a third party was prevented or minimized. First recipient of this award, the Correctional Officer Thomas Cox. The first, on May 9th, 2013, while driving home from work on the Tappan Zee Bridge, Officer Cox came upon the scene of a serious motor vehicle accident. In the accident, one of the vehicle's occupants sustained a serious head injury and was trapped inside the vehicle. Officer Cox, who was also a trained volunteer firefighter, assisted in securing the scene and provided first aid to the injured motorist. As local EMS and fire personnel arrived on scene, Officer Cox assisted in extracting the injured parties from their vehicles and redirected traffic away from the lanes that were affected. In his off-duty actions, Officer Cox displayed leadership qualities and bravery that served to cast our department and staff in a positive light. His assistance to other agencies and those members of the public have earned him the Meritorious Service Award. Officer Cox, please report to the stage and receive your award. The second recipient of the Meritorious Service Medal is Correctional Officer Harold McDonald, a 26-year veteran of the Department of Correction. On September 3rd, 2011, while off duty, Officer McDonald witnessed a New Rochelle police officer locked in a violent struggle with the subject of arrest. The police officer, who was working alone, attempted to tase the man, who continued to struggle and was attempting to flee. Thinking quickly, Officer McDonald intervened in the situation and assisted officer in placing the man under arrest until backup officers arrived on scene. After taking the individual into custody, it was later determined that he was wanted for 2 felonies, 3 misdemeanors, and an open warrant. In the incident, Officer McDonald's professionalism, vigilant commitment to his duties, and selfless actions in the defense of other law enforcement officers directly prevented the arresting officer from sustaining serious physical injuries or worse. Based on the same, he is hereby awarded the Meritorious Service Medal. Officer McDonald, please report to the stage. The next recipient of the Meritorious Service Medal is Correction Officer Kelly Card, a 25-year veteran of the Department of Service who recently retired. On December 11th, 2011, the department's female unit staff responded to a medical event in which the inmate was having a serious asthma attack. As paramedics were securing the inmate in the ambulance for transport to the hospital, the situation became critical and required both the paramedic and the ambulance driver to work together to keep the inmate's airway open. Officer Ricard jumped into the driver's seat of the ambulance and drove the ambulance to the medical center so as to allow the EMTs to provide critical services to the inmate. In doing so, she went above and beyond the call of duty and beyond what any officer should expect to face in a normal workday. In recognition for her initiative and bold actions, the department is honored to present Officer Ricard with the Meritorious Service Medal. Officer Ricard, come up on stage.